What's up everyone? By the end of this video you will understand why you spin the car, what you can do to prevent it, and of course you will understand the physics behind it. Let's get started. For cars that don't have ABS, you can do the following technique. So let's try to spin the car on purpose firstly, and then to correct the spin. Alright, so what's going on? We lose the rear grip, that's what's happening, but the correction has to do with the fronts locking up. At this point we lose the rear grip, we press the brake and the throttle at the same time. The fronts are now locked, as you can see, but because we press also the throttle, we add some weights to the rear tire. The reason why the car started to spin in the first place is because the rear was too light and all the weight was on the front tires. For cars with ABS, the correction depends on the mistake that you're doing into the corner. In this sequence, we're gonna watch what I called adding too much steering angle on the exit. In this instance, because on the exit we are going wide, naturally we're adding a lot of steering angle. However, there's gonna be a threshold in which the car is gonna lose the rear grip, and in that moment the car will spin. The correction for this type of mistake is just to unwind the steering wheel. So in this case, instead of turning right this much, turn a bit more to the left while doing a correction under throttle. In heavier cars, usually the cause of spinning is some sort of weight transfer. One of those is downshifting while taking a corner. Let's notice here that the moment in which we go from third to second, while still maintaining the brakes and maintaining the same steering angle, the car is snapping. You will have then to take into account that whenever you're downshifting, you're basically moving the weight to the front tires and making the rear a bit looser. If you apply a sort of trail braking, sort of turning the steering wheel and also the downshift, you will generate a lot of rotation, more than the car can handle in some instances. The advice here would be to delay the point in which you will do the downshift, so that you will do it when the car is at a lower speed, or whenever you don't have a lot of steering angle, or the opposite, to do the downshift a bit quicker whenever the car is more on a straight line. That's why you want to maximize the straight line efficiency under braking while doing all the downshifts. Understeer snap oversteers happens when you fail to generate the rotation on entry, so initially you're understeering and you try to compensate in the middle part of the corner for the rotation that you didn't get in the first place. Here's an example. To fix understeer snap oversteer, you just have to be patient because the mistake was already done in the first place with the understeer. So usually whenever you're understeering, you don't want to add more steering angle, you don't want to add more trail brake. It's the opposite. You want just to wait for a brief moment for the car to regain its grip and then to go and apply your inputs. If you're gonna try to pretend like the understeer didn't happen, you're probably gonna overheat the tires more, or you're gonna go into understeer snap oversteer. Lift off oversteer happens because whenever you're doing a lift, suddenly the weight transfers to the front part of the car, so the nose goes downwards. To fix it, you must realize that the car is spinning due to having no weight to the rears, and the easy fix for it will be to apply just a bit of throttle so that the rear will start to get some grip, and then you can do the other corrections with the steering wheel, maybe with a bit of brakes, but also under throttle. In this example, we're gonna see that any car, almost any car, can spin not by using the steering wheel, but by using the brakes. To fix this, we must induce some understeer, and we can induce understeer by going on power or with our brake release. Whenever we're going on power, again we transfer the weight back to the rear tires, they have a bit more grip, and naturally the car starts now to understeer a bit. Whenever we are doing the brake release, instead of having the weight to the front tires, again we transfer the weight back to the rears. So naturally the car is gonna try to understeer. Another way in which you can spin the car is if the brake bias is set towards the rears. If it's too much about the rears, then the rear tires are gonna lock first and the car is gonna spin. Generally, a brake bias set more towards the rear will make the car rotate a bit more. However, if you push to that threshold in which under straight line braking the rears are gonna lock up first, it's not generally the best idea since you can easily spin. There you have it, guys. That's, in my opinion, all the ways in which you can spin the car. If you think I have forgotten something, please feel free to mention it in the comment section below. If you like this kind of content or if you want to watch more of it in the future, subscribe to the channel, give it a like, it will help me a lot. So until then, see you on the next one. Bye bye.